Hey, it's Terry. I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Now I'm doing low carb while I'm in maintenance. Thank you for watching. So I'm switching over to 80/20 for a little while just to see if there's any difference. The 80/20 does not come in the big 10-pound package. So I have to buy the 5-pound package, which is fine. And 80/20 is definitely more expensive. So please be aware of that. But I used to eat 93%, so that was even more expensive. So I've got this one, and I've got another one, and I'll be right back. I'll put the other one into here. So now I'm going to add just a little bit of water to each of them. You can most definitely add seasonings. I don't. Because whenever it's done, whatever fat is rendered, that becomes treats for my dogs. So I do not add fat. I will put both of these on low, and every hour I'll come in and I will chop them up. I use these plastic bags. You don't have to. So if you're a person who prefers not to use plastic, that's all right. But yeah, so I do use plastic in my crock pots. Most of the time. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time I do, because the less fat the meat, the more it adheres to the edge and the harder it is to clean. But I'm going to come back every hour and chop it up with this. It is 6 o'clock, so this will probably done between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. It's been 1 hour, so now I'll come in and I will chop this up. Ow. Got to be careful with it. Don't chop too hard or you'll tear the bag. I know. If I didn't use a bag, I wouldn't have to worry about it, would I? But that's all right. It does adhere to the side of whether it's a bag or not a bag. So as I do this, I found if I turn it along the edges a little bit, it kind of helps pull it away from the sides a little bit. But the water that I add also helps to keep it from sticking so much. You might be able to spray it with something. I don't know. I don't. But you might be able to. Because like I said, I also use the broth sometimes for my dogs. Or I just jar it up and use it for beef broth later on. For something else I might be making. So there we go. And that's how it looks after 1 hour. So I'll come back and show you how it looks in 1 more hour. Let me see if I can get you down in there good. And I definitely tell it's not done yet. So there you go. That's after 1 hour. And I chop it so that way it doesn't become one big meatloaf. You may be able to make it as a meatloaf. I don't know. I always say I'm going to try it, but I always forget. So that's how I do it. So I'll see you in 1 hour. It's been another hour, so I'll come in and chop it up. The meat is rendering more of its fat, and it will as time goes on. And now it's starting to adhere more to the edges of the, of the sides. The edges of the sides. How do you like that, English? The edges of the crock pot. So I just kind of scoop it along and scrape it towards the middle. And any big chunks, I just kind of poke them and separate them. So, all right, I'll do this other one, and I'll see you in 1 more hour. Okay. Now let's go on, and I'm giving you in here close so you can really see what I do. I know the other angle, you don't really get into see what I do. It has been right at 3 hours. I could stop it here since I do microwave my food at work. But I'm going to let it go. I'll go on so you can see in the middle it's just not done. So this would be probably medium rare. So if you like it medium rare, you could stop it right there. But see, I'm kind of going along the edges and pulling it away. That's what I like to do. Just kind of pull it away from the edges and get it all mixed in with the rest of it. Sometimes I just make a big mess out of it. Sometimes I do it too hard. But anyway, so there we go. I'm going to let it go 1 more hour. I'm going to do the other one and then set the timer for 1 more hour. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. Usually I just scoop it straight out of there. But today we're going to go a little different. I'm going to send it through here. It's just going to be easier in my head for how I want it to be. I want to get as much of the rendered fat out. Like I said, if you want your rendered fat, for sure you do the way you want to do it. We all kind of do our own thing. I want to just see what happens if I go with 80-20 ground beef. So I'm pulling some of it out. I'm going to kind of do this in sections. But I just, like I said, there's a difference whenever I strain it versus when I just scoop it out with a slotted spoon. So I'm going to get all this strained and I'll be right back. Here's where we're at. This is all the meat and that's all the liquid. So you can see about inch and a half is the rendered fat. And then the other part is just the broth and protein. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and it's probably going to cool till tomorrow. And then after that, after it's totally 100% cooled, then I'm going to separate the two for my dog treats. I have and I haven't in the past. I like it better whenever I do separate it and just use the rendered fat instead of the broth for the dog treats. It's more cleaner and easier. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. So hopefully you've seen how I do the dog treats. I may or may not add them at the end. If it's there, great. If not, you'll know I just put this in the refrigerator. And then whenever it separates, I pull the fat cap off and I melt it down and put it into dog treats. This is a stage where things will vary from you to me. I have strained out the fat and I'm going to put these in 7 ounce servings. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want to do. When I was doing carnivore, I did 2 pounds of meat a day. So I did when I was, eating 2 meals a day, I did 16 ounce servings twice a day, and I did not strain the fat. So this part is all relative for what stage you're at and what your goal is. So this is the part that you have to do what's right for you. Don't just do what somebody else does because you want to try what they're doing and you think that they are the only way. Each person is an individual and you've got to figure out what's going to work for you. And for right now, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to do 7 ounce servings of this 80-20 and we'll see how many servings we get. Okay, so it was 12 1/4 pounds of ground beef. And so with that, I got 20 servings of 7 ounces. So I will put these in the freezer. I have other things in the freezer, so I'll pull those things out and set these in the back. So then these are good to go for me to add anything I want to change it in. I could change one into chili. I could add some sauteed veggies and some marinara sauce. I could add some rice chicken and some Asian seasonings. I can add, whatever I want to. So each of these can be made into whatever I want to. If you are carnivore, you do it with seasonings and cheese. That's how I did it for the 22 months that I did it. I changed it up with various seasonings. You can add, smoked salt seasonings. You can add, onion salt and some harissa seasoning and some spicy cheese. So you could just change these up to be whatever flavor you want. You don't have to eat the same flavor every meal, every day. So that's it. That is how I do my crock potted ground beef. I had 20, and then this little partial serving, it's probably like 2 ounces. I don't know. I'll use it for something though. So there you go.